Good morning, Tehmina Khan is here in TKMaths is Fun. In today's video, I will explain to you a concept of quadratic equation, which is a part of the syllabus of O-level additional mathematics. The code is 4037. In the previous video, the link is attached in the description. I covered the concept of maximum and minimum because in the syllabus of CIE, we have seen that there are three concepts. Basically, one is with respect to maximum and minimum value, and it's a sketch. Second concept is about discriminant, and third is quadratic inequalities. So in today's video, I will cover the concept of discriminant and quadratic inequality. So before we begin, you can see on the top my website address and my blog address. Please do subscribe and like it and give your positive comments. It gives me encouragement. You can find many more details on my website, like online classes, checklist for your exam preparation, solution of challenging questions. The site is still under development, but still you will find a lot there. So let's begin with the question, the concept. So we'll start with discriminant. Now, we know the quadratic formula. We have seen in the previous video also. But now in the quadratic formula, this portion, b square minus 4ac, has a special name, because it changes the root of the equation. This x gives us the value of the quadratic equation, the answer or the solution. So if this answer is positive or negative of 0, what happens? Let's see here. So that's why it is called discriminant, because it discriminates the nature or the answer of the solution. So we will see the three cases here. Let's see one at a time. Okay. So for example, I have taken this example, x squared plus 2x minus 8. And of course, my a is 1, b is 2, c is minus 8. You know, I'm comparing it with this general quadratic equation. And you are aware of it. We have seen in the previous video also. So I am just substituting the value of ABC in this formula. Okay. And this is 36 at the moment. Can you see? So b square minus 4ac is giving me positive answer. So I can say b square minus 4ac is giving me answer greater than 0. So I am able to take two distinct root here. Okay. Now the same equation, different equation. I am substituting the values of ABC and I got 0 answer here. Right? If you want to try out yourself, you can put the video on pause and check it yourself. Okay. So when you get 0, this term disappears. So there is no question of plus minus. So only thing you are left with, minus 2 divided by 2. So you get two same answers. So it is called two equal roots or two repeated roots, right? Now let's see the third case. When I plug in value here, I got minus answer. So when my b square minus 4ac is negative, I get no root. Actually, it is imaginary root. We will study it later. So we do not find solution because calculator will show you error. So we are not going into that domain, what type of root is that, but it's just not a real root. Okay. Okay. So now let's see the visual understanding of what we have just seen. So the b square minus 4ac, what type of roots we will have and what type of shape the graph will have. Okay, so now if your b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, I have just shown you, you get two real distinct roots, which means the graph will have this type of shape. Depends your a is positive or your a is negative. But it will intercept x-axis at 2 points. And that's why you get two real distinct roots. Now, if your b square minus 4ac is equals to 0, then you get two real equal roots. Forgive me about this shape here. My hand did not draw perfect graph. But anyway, so this answer, you get two answers, but same. Like I have shown you here in this case. When you do b square minus 4ac was 0, you got two same answer. So graphically, it means this is tangent to the curve, right? It is tangent to the x-axis. Now the last case. When your b square minus 4ac is less than 0 mean negative. This means positive plus answer. It means no real roots, right? Nature means what type of roots you will get. So no real roots. And if you will try to sketch or plot those graphs, either they will be totally above the x-axis or totally below the x-axis. These are my x and y axis, by the way, right? So this is also called, what it is called, always positive, always negative. I'll tell you later on how students get confused when solving these questions. So now, I have taken one solved example here. Suppose the question is saying find the value of k for which y is equals to kx minus 3 does not intersect the curve y is equals to x square minus 2x plus 1. So question is telling you that if you plot this curve and if you plot this line, what are those values of k for which they will not intersect? Because if you will change the value of k, they may intersect. So question is saying what are those values, right? So it means okay, when you solve them together simultaneously, you should find no meeting answer here, right? Sorry, I mean to say when you plot them, they should not meet. So how will you find those values of k? You will change it into quadratic equation like this, right? So you put this value of y here, like I have done here, or you can see here, and then rearrange it into this form. So it is what x square, let me just show you here. It is x square minus 2x minus kx plus 1 plus 3, because one step is missing here, but I just want you to know. After that, minus x is taken common out from here, so you will have 2 plus k, and 3 plus 1 is 4. So this is the form of the quadratic equation. So what is your a now? Your a is 1. What is your b? Because you can't say x is minus, you can say my b is minus 2 plus k. Okay, I can rewrite it like this. So my b is minus 2 plus k and my c is 4. So now, because question was saying that curve and line are not intersecting, it means discriminant will be less than 0. Why? When line is not meeting with the curve, there is no solution. And when there is no solution, the discriminant is negative, less than 0. Now you will plug in the value of b, a, and c in it. So your a is 1, b is minus root 2 plus k, and c is 4. Can you notice here? What happened here? Where this minus has gone? If you are confused, I can show you here, minus 2 plus k whole square. So this whole square will change this minus into plus. So that's why there is no plus, right? And now you are solving this equation. You will do middle term breakup. Sorry. Okay, so now after factorization, we got this. Now, how did we get this? Most of the time, students make mistake here. Okay, so now let's sketch this roughly. Okay, now my horizontal line is my k-axis. Can you see the k is written here? So if you put this thing equals to 0, the value of k is minus 6 and 2. So that's why the curve is passing through 2 and minus 6. Okay, because the coefficient of k square is plus, it is a minimum value curve. Less than 0 mean below the x-axis. I mean, right now it is my k-axis. So this part of the curve is below the k-axis. Yes or no? So what are the values of k on this part of the curve? If I want to check the value of k on this part of the curve, I will check it like this. Yes or no? So my values are between minus 6 and 2. So that's why it is written here between this. Usually what mistakes what mistake students make. See here, after this line, let me tell you what do. They do k plus 6 less than 0, k minus 2 less than 0. They solve it like an equation. K less than minus 6, k less than 2. So please don't do this, because you do not solve quadratic inequalities like equations, right? Because if we have equal to sign here, for example, then yes, we do k minus 2 equals to 0, k plus 6 equals to 0. But in case of range, in case of inequality, we do not solve it like this. We try to bring a sketch on our mind, in our mind or on the paper to be sure, and we see what part of the curve is below, if it is saying less, below the x-axis. If question will say greater than 0, I will see part of the curve above the x-axis, right? Let's see another example. Okay, so in this case, the line is tangent to the curve. When the line is tangent to the curve, it means, what is your discriminant? Before I show you, it means your discriminant is what? Equals to 0, right? We studied 3 cases. So first of all, this equation of line we will put here and rearrange this equation into quadratic form. What is that form? ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So we'll bring it into this form. So I have put this value of y here and I'm opening it, expanding it. Then I will take common x out so that I have a coefficient of x. It will be k plus 6. Any problem here? So a is 2, b is k plus 6, c is minus k. And now, because line is tangent to the curve, you will put it in b square minus 4ac equals to 0. So this I have found because of this explanation here. I will simply substitute the values here and I will solve the question. And it will give me simple factorization, and after that you can find the value of k. So this is basic stuff, right? So you got minus 2 and minus 18. So it means in this question, in place of k, if you plug in minus 2, right? Or at this stage, if you plug in minus 2 and solve it, then see what happened. I'm leaving it to you because it is saying tangent, so you will get one solution. Because basically you have to find the value of x, right? If you put k minus 2 and then put two equations together and then find the value of x, you will put the value of k here also. Then you will get same two answers of x. Similarly, if you will do minus 18 here and here and solve them simultaneously, you will get same two answer of x, right? Okay. Now, special attention what I was talking about when question says find the set of values of k for which the curve is always positive. The moment students see positive, they always think that b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. Now here they make mistake. You know why? The curve is always positive mean it is above the x-axis somewhere. I don't know the shape, but it is somewhere here. It means it will never touch the x-axis. It means it has no root. So actual thing will be b square minus 4ac less than 0. Right? So either question says always positive or always negative. Always negative mean here. You will use this because the curve is not touching the x-axis. Okay? Now the last concept of the topic, which is quadratic inequality. So exactly what I have explained to you, same thing. Now this is a quadratic equation which is given with inequality. So not equation, inequality basically. And you will bring it all to one side. I have done a sketching here also to explain it to you. So right now focus on the left hand side. Then I will do what here? Middle term breakup, right? And then after that I will find the values of x. So what it is, can you say right now? X is equals to minus 3 and 5 over 2. Now after this, the mistake happens. I have just explained it to you. So if I sketch on x and y axis, this is -3 suppose, and from here I will get 5/2. So curve will pass through here. Because the coefficient of x square is plus, it will have a minimum value shape, right? I'm just redoing it to explain it to you better. And central value, I have told you in the previous video how to calculate, but you don't need to do it here. Nobody is asking you a turning point. You have to find the values of x which satisfy this condition. What values of x you will plug in. So how sketch is helping you. Less than or equals to 0 means this part of the curve, right? This part of the curve. So what are the values of x on this part of the curve? If I ask you to check, you will check like this. If I ask you what is the value of x here, you will check like this. If I ask you what is the value of x, you will check like this. So basically these are the values of x. Starting from -3, ending at 2.5. So this is basically for you to understand that these are x-intercept, but you will write it this answer. That values of x are in between, and because it is equals to here, so you will also write equals to. Okay? So let's see the last example before we finish this video. So now in this case, we have to find the values of x which always give us plus answer, because in other way this means this, because when we substitute the value of x, we get the value of y. So the meaning of this question is y is positive. So what are those values of x? Okay, so now I should not have done this before here, but anyway, let me just move it aside from here, or let me make it small at the moment so that you don't see it. We will increase it later. So now this is your equation, right? You will do Milton breakup. Okay, and then factorize it. So what are the x-intercept? Can you see? The x-intercepts are 4 and -1. And because the coefficient of x square is 1, so if, let me sketch it myself rather than showing you that graph. So suppose it is passing from -1 and it is passing from 4. This is for you, not for examiner, right? Because you want to find out the correct values of x. Question is saying greater than 0. Now greater than 0 means the part of the curve which is above the x-axis. So it is this part of the curve. Okay. So what are the values of x on this part of the curve? If I ask you what is the value of x here, how will you check it? You will check it like this. This is your x-axis. What is the value of x here? You will check it like this. You will check it like this. So all these values of x, because this curve will go on and on and on. Okay. If I ask you what are the values of x here, you will check like this. And how do we know this part of the curve? Because it is saying greater than and equals to 0. It means the part of the curve above the x-axis. So what is my answer? My answer is x greater than 4 or x less than -1. Okay. So this is how I will get my answer. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you learned something, liked it, press like and subscribe button, press bell icon, and do share it with your friends. I have my playlist also, so you can visit that. Thank you very much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.